Jumpy!
Huh?
Huh? He spun around. He saw someone running toward him from the other end of the hallway. There were three people coming toward Junpei and his companions. Companions!
And Santa! And Lotus, too!
They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard.
Whoa! What the hell is this?
What are you doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys! Could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Look on the wall here.
There was something on the wall. There's the map at the end of the hallway. I was thinking about it. Where's the map?
Of the ship's interior?
There it is.
It says C deck. So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
Interesting. In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again.
Facts.
Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the Nonary game works.
I see.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. Hey, could this lead to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to wariness.
Oh!
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen, that they're right back where they started.
We may as well go. Yeah.
They moved as one for the door.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off of the wall and put it in his pocket and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
No, you're doing the same thing he's doing. Come on, stop it. Slowly, all 5 nodded their silent assessment. What is assessment? What does that mean? What does silent assent mean? I've never heard of that word assent. Oh, Google. Assent. No, I said assent, not an assent. Come on, Siri. Assent. No, not assent. Oh my god. Okay. And not as I lay dying, even though they're a great band. The expression of approval or agreement. A loud murmur of assent. Express approval or agreement, typically officially. Guest house then. Frank assented cheerfully. It's sometimes confused with assent. Okay. They poured through the doorway and entered the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back. In the hospital room.
But hey, at least you can get an ace now.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying.
So he woke up by that time.
The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism.
Well, you didn't know.
I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
See? Stefan! Da 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 bitch. Why does that cat so mad? Seven smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place.
I agree.
We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Oh, the solar system keys. Actually, we found one in the laboratory too.
What?
Here, the Earth key.
Lotus dug out a still warm key with an Earth symbol on it.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
No, don't ask the question. It's fine if we don't know. That's fine. It said still warm, but we're not gonna question it. Nope.
Yeah. On it.
And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored.
Now we have 3 keys that we haven't used yet.
Yeah. The Jupiter key that we found in the operating room. The Saturn key card we found in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
And the Earth key Lotus just gave me.
And we're not gonna question where she had it. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh? Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. So, we got Ace is 1. 7 is, of course, 7. And Clover is 4. So, 12, 3. Yup. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At least, unless he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be.
Well, yep. Good voice acting.
So I'm going with you, huh?
I love the older voice actors.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what lay beyond door 3. I'm a little afraid of what could happen.
Okay, we're heading out.
Oh, I shook. Oh, that's not good.
Be careful.
This isn't good, I just shook. Something bad's gonna happen.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Yeah, same.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it.
Ha!
The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
The truth comes out.
So you need him at the end after all. Seven nodded as this answer made much more sense. And pulled the lever on the red. Excuse me. Yeah, something bad's gonna come about from this, I can tell.
Okay, we're off.
Be careful. The door opened and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
Alright, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused. Don't you want to go check out the doors?
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end of the hallway, lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Oh, that was nice of her to say that. She said it non-rudely. Non-rudely? What the okay. Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. Good. Don't be asking everybody if they're ready, bro. Just do it. You're learning. What? Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom with a massive central staircase.
Great! Back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
That's what I thought. Like, what the hell? Again? Duh, adventure screen. Maybe a thumbnail. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
What?
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled two things out of his pockets. Oh yeah, the other cards.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Santa cocked his head to one side like an inquisitive bird and looked at them. After several long moments during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So the two keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
Hey, we're learning. Look at you. June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. How interesting that he keeps going with it. Well, I guess they're trying to push those two together, aren't they? So I guess it makes sense that every time they could, they would just put those two together and he would end up just dealing with Lotus then. Okay. Interesting. Oh, no, I know why. He's trying to get with her. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I know. That body looked thinking. I know. I'm knowing. No worries, guy. You got this, my guy. You got this. I believe in you. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these. So don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the two teams split it up. Junpei and June headed for the elevators.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card. A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator?
There's buttons on it. Excuse me. There was a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
Oh, that kind of hurt a bit. I got caught in my chest.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor mirror as the elevator car moved down.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
I'm seeing. June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
Oh shit, there's so much open. He grinned at June and stepped toward the door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
What?
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. Without his loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of starving! Being locked up alone with a boy. The fact that they could only go down? She was afraid because the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B's decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Oh yeah, there's no water.
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yes! Oh, you're so cute. Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
You know, I keep giving him crap for doing these exasperated takes on these things, but I guess in real life, if this was happening, somebody would probably be like that too.
Oh, you're right. They are.
These guys are so good. I love these voice actors. They're really good. Why is that in entertainment? That's a game. What is going on? She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Tested.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two. E and C. All right, I'll push E.
Pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Ah, my leg!
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen.
Yep.
See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest a little bit. Look at me, I'm so smart. I'm Junpei. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
What that mean, Thyroid?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
Pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration. Right, the notebook and pen we got earlier.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk?
That's not a bad drawing, by the way. I couldn't do that.
The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Also, that's actually about my handwriting, too. Well, no, his handwriting's better than mine. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, all right?
What?
But...
Come on, just do it, all right?
No! He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped into the elevator. No, don't leave her by herself! He pushed the E button, and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Good.
Huh?
Why would you leave her alone? At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors. You are playing with fire, girl. You could have gotten squished. Oh, gosh.
Hey, wait!
Don't wait. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap. It closed.
And? The door had shut. He and June were in the elevator and was headed down to E deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
What am I gonna do with you, June? The elevator stopped and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish. Or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then... Oh, okay. Why does she pop out like that? Jesus.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Uh-oh. Junpei thought about that for a moment.
We'd probably die.
Oh, no. Don't be so casual about something like that.
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here.
How about you just go back up now? This doesn't seem like a good idea.
Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but like I said, this doesn't really seem like a good idea.
Okay, good idea.
Okay.
Now then.
Junpei glanced around the room they found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then maybe...
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening.
Well,
He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
it looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the two of us.
We better head back and let everyone know.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck.
Wait, what's this?
On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Is this the map for E-Deck? I should take it with me.
Oh, thank God!
So you guys found door 1.
I thought something bad was gonna happen. My heart was literally beating out of my chest slowly. I was like, oh God. Okay, thank goodness. Oh, I thought something was gonna happen. I really did. I got really scared. They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Oh wait, they found door 1. Apparently there was another numbered door in A-Deck, just like the one on E-Deck, beyond the door that the Earth Key had opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. It's like a killing game. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large pleading eyes.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh?
Where did that?
You guys leaving me behind?
Where did that come from?
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
No, they're not kidding. The fact that you said that again, that's the second time you brought up the fact you want us three to work together. What is wrong with you? Those words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7.
7?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the milk of a man who's seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. Nah, he looked at 7.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
That is a very, very valid question. 7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something was shaking him hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by... Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead.
I knew it! Oh, God.
He died, just as the 9th man did.
Wait, what? It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. How was that possible? Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, then he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. Oh, excuse me. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god. That's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait! Not that way!
What?
What?
Why not?
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
That is a smart way to do that, you smart son of a bitch.
The shower room. The left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Way to freaking outsmart the system, bro. Their new destination cleared, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall.
This wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. Ew, don't do that. It was sour and smelled of... Ew! Ah! Why so descriptive? It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. Oh, God. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. Not me in! Yeah, don't do that. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was left in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
When was the last time to eat or drink anything, by the way? Oh, I think I know where he is. They didn't have to wonder where the body was.
There.
There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned and walked toward to the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Come on. Santa and Lotus follow. Good. Timid and nervous as a pair of children. Why is Lotus coming? Well, why not? Eventually they reached the divider. June's gonna have to find out eventually anyway. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. Oh, look at the viscera. What's left of the body set in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body, set in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. Hold up! Viscera? Yo, I was trying to think of that word and it just randomly came to mind. Yo, look at your boy. Yo, let's get it. Also, this is really messed up. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Oh god, come on, man, the descriptions. Smaller chunks of meat had flattened against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like he said.
Oh gosh. Santa's voice was strained. Jimmy suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left
Oh,
arm.
come on, man. Why the descriptions?
It's definitely an open fracture.
Look, yeah. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in twin. What's with these descriptions? Oh my gosh. His clothes too were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks. Wait, what?
But the clothes are...
Wait. Is that what Sick wore? Because I remember him having he had a great top though. And he did have a white shirt. Did he have a burgundy tie? I remember them being yellow. Well, maybe that is him. They're all familiar to
No
Junpei.
mistake about it. It's Snake.
Oh gosh, it is this stuff. Okay, well. Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard a catch in her throat. Well, fun times over here on the ship. The squeal of tortured metal, I thought they said tortured meat, made Junpei's teeth curl. How did they curl? It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times I heard it. Oh, yeah, I got used to it. Excuse me. Sorry. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. I'm so sorry, dear. We thought he was gonna be alive, but I'm sorry. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Blank. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just don't.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seems shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Oh.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship.
Friendship.
Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Wait, doesn't it go against exactly what Santa said? Can't trust anybody. And now we have to try to trust each other?
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Now, why is it that you're trying to get everybody to think about that? Why? What's up with you?
Good question.
No. What's up with you? What's up with you, Ace? What's good, bro? What you not telling us, bro? Jibbe hadn't really considered that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei, was Zero still on the ship with them? I'm not sure. He wasn't sure.
Something's still strange.
What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Yeah, exactly. Ace's eyebrows shut up.
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, "this ship," several times when he addressed us.
So? He could be saying, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be on the ship to say that he's the captain of the ship. He could just be saying that. He's saying that for you guys. It doesn't mean that he's actually there.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
He still could, just to give you the illusion. What are you not thinking of, dude? You're thinking way too deep into this.
He'd be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
No, because he wants to put emphasis on the fact of the ship that you guys are on. He doesn't have to be on the ship to say this ship. He could literally be off somewhere in another area talking about it like he's in here, but he's not actually in here. What do you not get, old man?
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
No, I don't think so. Am I the dumb one? Am I the only one that's slow, bro? What's going on? It didn't make perfect sense. What are you talking about? Ace's explanation made perfect sense. Junpei felt a little foolish that he hadn't seen himself. I don't agree. Still, he was left with a question. It was one of no small importance.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke. Her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Oh! Oh! Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of the jailer. But who? Was he one of them? Oh, it's possible.
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
Shut that shit up.
No reason. I've got a great reason.
And what's that?
The bracelets.
He held out his left arm.
Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
It's all automatic. He doesn't even have to be on the ship to do anything.
You got a point.
Which means that my point is actually valid, because the dude could literally just be somewhere else doing that, faffing about, letting everything run itself. Because I didn't add that point in, because honestly I kind of forgot about that point. But if he could literally just be around just watching things and letting things go by themselves, instead of, you know, watching them and then pop boop buddy beep bop bop bop. He could literally just automate it so he doesn't have to do anything. He could be off for it somewhere else. He doesn't have to be on the ship. But he could, like Clover is saying, could also be on the ship. Like Ace was saying, but he could also be one of you guys just watching you, kind of going with the paces, acting like everything's, scary, boo. And then setting things off, having things go up on themselves, just trying to make it like he's one of the group, acclimating himself in, like there's no suspicion on him, right?
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game. All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward.
Right.
Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
7, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. 7 and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us.
No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
What were his motives?
His motives?
Yes, isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, well, that's because,
Junpei choked. Come on, he hadn't thought of that and he had to be honest with himself. He had no idea.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
Jupiter was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at. Then, in that horrible silence... The thing is, they're all going off the circumstantial evidence too, so you can't take anything that they say as fact either. Because nobody has any definitive proof that what they're saying is correct either. So at the end of the day, we're all just going around in circles trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But I believe that my theory is the correct theory. If you think about it logically, my theory is the most sound, I feel. Because it combines all of their theories into one. At least I think it is. You know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm dumb, but I think it is. I don't know. I don't know. I just think that if you think about it like that, Zero could be on the ship as one of them, but he could also be off somewhere else. It's kind of like how they did in Resident Evil, right? If you ever played Resident Evil 0, it's kind of like how it's kind of spoilers for Resident Evil 0, isn't it? But it's just like how Albert Wesker and what's the dude's name from Actually, hold on, I have to hit the bathroom. I'll be back. I'm gonna think about this and try to remember his name. Good lord. I heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. Oh, right. So, what was I even talking about before? I can't remember. It was like, oh, right. So the Resident Evil thing, yeah. So it's like how, Albert Wesker and I don't remember his name, but the dude from Resident Evil 2 who transforms into this monster because he took the T virus, or was it a G virus? I think it was a T virus. He injected himself with it because they were about to steal it. Umbrella was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're about to steal the virus from him, and like they either that or like they broke a lot of the vials. Like a lot of the vials were broken, and he ended up injecting himself with it so he wouldn't be killed, because they were gonna kill him and take the virus, because he was about to die, and then he stabbed himself with the virus, I believe, and then he went ahead and went on a rampage. So honestly, I don't even know why I talked about that part, but because literally what just matters is the fact that they both of them, Birkin, his name is Birkin, I remember. So because Sherry Birkin, yeah, Birkin. So it was Wesker and Birkin in Resident Evil 0 were kind of watching in a room far away, kind of being the masterminds of everything going on over there, in the mansion. Well, they were orchestrating the things that were going on in the mansion that Rebecca and, was it Steve? No, Steve's Resident Evil Code Veronica. It's Rebecca and that one army dude. I can't remember his name, but they were kind of orchestrating everything that was going on there, and just from the shadows. So I was like, he could be doing the same exact thing, him or maybe the whole organization. I don't know who Zero is, but you never want to discount the fact that somebody could be in an offshore site trying to like just somehow is able to just wire everything to work in a certain way and just completely do everything off-site and have everything timed, every single prompt, everything. But you never know.
It's 3 a.m.
Maybe I am the crazy one, I don't know.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Excuse me.
Then we need to move now. Seven, Clover, Junpei, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
You're right, but...
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say inside. Seven and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
What?
All right, let's go, June.
Wait, why?
Right.
Why don't we all go together?
Here it is.
It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen, between the two elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think
Oh.
7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
What the hell? Okay. Yo, can we talk about the soundtrack? I never spoke about it once, but the soundtrack is banging, bro. Not that I'm surprised. It's by Chunsoft, were the ones who created the game, so. Hey. 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 I don't know what kind of dance I'm doing. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the two of us, but let's do our best.
Just the two of us.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
Oh!
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Let her have her moment, dude. And have your moment too. Come on.
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh, she's so sweet. Oh my goodness.
Oh. First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Say, oh, I'm happy too. I'm so happy to be with you, June.
Just like we did before.
Nothing.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
What the hell?
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to the right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
Hey, over there.
Over there! Oh,
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room. Doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck.
oh, so there's supposed to be 9 doors altogether,
It
right?
was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The only one I haven't found is 9. Now door, so 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1, and now door 2 stood in front of Junpei.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June. Oh, I don't like. Why is it?
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's leg. Oh, okay. I hate it when it goes quiet like that because I'm like, oh god, there's something happened. Everyone had written on a paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Well, it's a good place to save because this could be prime real estate for comeback time. Why talk like this, I don't know. I know. Why they have decided to vote that way? Why am I talking
We
like
need
this?
to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know.
It's not that complicated.
Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
Shut up. They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would have
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
and he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the piece of paper.
Alright, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
He opened the second one.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the third and fourth and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute.
Shush!
There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Shut up.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
Right.
But
No.
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
First the Elephant Man, now the Exhibitionist Grandma? Oh my days, it's getting spicy!
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Also, she's not a grandma.
Barely.
So,
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
facts.
Maybe. But what about common decency?
What you talking about? She looks good.
Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Oh, what did you just say?
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
We just
Oh, not good.
Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls. Damn!
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
I'm killing him. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the
I'm
rest.
trying.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6 pieces of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All the papers, save Junpei's, have been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This was a door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
This was the door on E deck and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down.
Then the door I should choose is...
Well, now this is the perfect place. No, stop. Now this is the perfect place to save. So many saves, but I'm scared. I'm scared. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Oh, I can just do this. So, door 1, Ace and Clover requested door 1. This was the door on A deck near the central staircase. 7 and Lotus requested door 2. This was a door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship. Santa and June requested door 6. The door at E deck could be reached on the staircase down. You know, logic would say door 6, but in actuality, I kind of want to either keep an eye on Ace or possibly try to keep 7 and Lotus from killing each other. Because Lotus is easy, somebody needs to be with Lotus to kind of keep those two in check. You know what, let's do door 2.
My choice is door 2.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As he did, Junpei quickly slipped a piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready,
For doors 1, 2, and 6.
and I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted. If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated.
Alright. So we know who's going through door 2. It'll be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
7 plus 8 plus 5 equals... Oh, I didn't even think about
The
that!
only problem's the other 2 teams.
June and I want door 6.
Clover and I choose door 1.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people.
Everyone was silent. Then suddenly, Clover spoke, her face blank and cold.
Why don't Santa and June go into door 1 with Ace?
Huh?
Well,
They looked at one another. 3 plus 6 was 12. Yeah, that's true. Finally, Ace spoke.
Then what will you do, Clover?
I'll be waiting at the stairs. You guys are coming back here, right? That's what 7 was saying, wasn't it?
That had been what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the Nonary game works.
I'm sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while. You understand, right?
There was no emotion on her face, but it was drawn and pale, and her eyes were red. No one had the heart to contradict her. The room grew very quiet. Silence drifted down over everything like a blanket of fresh snow. It was Santa who finally spoke.
alright. I'm going through door 1. That alright with you, June?
Yes.
June nodded.
Well, we'll be going then.
Let's move too.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go.
And just like that, the paths were set.
I won't see June for a while, but
It's okay, we just saw her.
this was my choice. I'm just going to have to suck it up.
Well, I guess we didn't go in the room with her the last time, did we? Well, that's okay.
7 said we'd all see each other again, and I'm going to believe that.
He took strength from that thought.
The other group went to A deck to go through door 1. Clover joined them. Our group is on our way too. We're heading to the bottom deck using the elevators. I wonder what we'll find down there.
They stepped off the elevator and headed for door 2.
We ready?
Yeah, anytime.
I'll go first.
One by one, they put their palms on the recognition device, and 3 asterisks blinked to life on the screen.
Let's go!
The door opened, and they leapt inside. Blip.
Where the hell is it this time?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't see it!
There it is! It's right there!
Excuse me. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets.
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
Oh no, stop. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast.
Man, I'll never get used to that.
You said that last time.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Damn right.
All right.
Junpei looked around again.
This hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I doubt we're gonna get anywhere that way.
After taking a look around the room himself, Seven spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing.
Then I'll take this first one.
Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him.
I'll try the one next to it.
Okay. At last, Junpei was left alone.
Well, I guess I'd better get started too.
He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. That said emergence. Confinement room. Oh. Good confinement room. Huh. Well, I kind of want to keep going, but honestly, we've been recording for like 3 hours at this point. I honestly didn't want to stop. Like, that was that dedicated. But I do have to stop soon, because I do have to get to bed. I do have work tomorrow, so we'll stop it right here. I'm just going to overwrite this one. Well, I mean, we could always... shit. Well, let's start over from the first one. I've already made 9 saves. That's so much at this point. But, thank you guys so much for watching this session of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I know this is probably only going to be like 2 hours or so, so this is probably going to be like a 2-part session again. But, like always, because there was a long stretch of time where I was away. But, yeah, once again, but yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I am enjoying this a lot. In fact, I was really surprised at the fact that I was able to just record for this long. Especially since it's late at night, but for that reason, even though I was a bit tired from eating, I wasn't tired from wanting to play, which is always fun. I always love that. Next time, we'll go ahead and try to seek a way out from the confinement room that I wasn't expecting to be in, but that makes sense since it's on the bottom of the ship. The brig, as it were, in a ship, I assume. But I don't know how far we are in terms of story for when we finish this, because there's, of course, like we saw on the map, and the game said there are many branching paths that you can take. And I don't know how long we have for this original story, like this path that we're on now, until we finish it. I don't want to look, because that would be cheating. So we're just gonna, it's not gonna be cheating, but I'd rather not look. I'd rather just kind of go and see it by myself before we go ahead and dive back in and try to get the other ones. Because I think I will complete this all the way and try to get every single path that we can. Just because I think it's fair to do this, and then when we eventually play Virtue's Last Reward, we'll go ahead and do the same thing there. But yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Happy Thanksgiving once again, and as always, have yourselves a fantastic day. Peace.
Darkness